Hey everyone, Regal Reviews here. It is White Rice Wednesday, which means time for my Survivor recap. So to recap on tonight's episode, Kara thinks it was a stupid move for Alec to go against her. And to a degree, I mean, it could go either way for him. If the Orange Tribe goes to Tribal Council next time, Kara can try to get Alec off. But now, at the same time, I feel like he wanted Natalia gone because she was bossy, and I feel like he was on the bottom of his alliance on the Goliath, so he did what he had to do. And I love how Kara, she's obviously upset that Natalia's gone. She was a alliance member and friend, but she's not all bitchy about it. She's just like, okay, she's gone. Now what do I do next? How do I move forward? Like, I have to give her credit. She sees that she's potentially on the bottom, so she's out there scrambling. So basically all the tribes are dealing with this, like, cyclone weather. It is chaos there. And it was really interesting because it started off as a sunny, bright day, but then it just went rain like that. And it even got to the point where both Angelina and Nick put a tarp over their fire to try to at least keep their fire going. And the Green Tribe, there was a river that was going through their shelter, and it became too dangerous for them to be on the tribe, so Jeff sent tree mail that they were going to evacuate all the tribes till the weather was better. So they come back and all their shelters are destroyed. Like, it was a good thing they evacuated them because people could have gotten seriously hurt. I mean, I don't think they would have kept them out there in that bad of a weather. But I do like how I love Christian's analogies, by the way, but I love how he put it that everyone's on the same page today. Everybody's a David, but that storm was a Goliath, and the aftermath of that, you could definitely see that the storm was like the Goliath. So the reward challenge, that usually the past couple episodes they've been combining the reward and immunity challenges, but now the reward is separate. They had to knock these sandbags out of this area, and they had to then use a slingshot to hit 2 targets. And the first place team would get chickens, and the second place tribe would get a dozen eggs. And it really, at the end, was getting it was really neck and neck there. Like, it was anybody's game at that point. But it ended up being orange it ended up being purple that won the chickens, and orange won the eggs. I was really surprised because I really thought green would win that. At the Orange Tribe, Kara, she wants to work with the Davids. She doesn't want to work with Alec after the whole Natalia vote out. And so she goes to try to talk with Davy, and Davy says that he trusts her. She then goes to try to talk to Elizabeth, who she was getting to be good friends with last episode, but Elizabeth doesn't trust her for good reason, because she believes that Kara's actually playing the game and that she doesn't really want to be in alliance with her. She's mainly with the Goliaths, and she'll basically, if the situation permitted itself, that she would get Elizabeth voted off. So on the Purple Tribe, I learned that Angelina's a never vegetarian, so it's nice to see a never vegetarian adapt to the elements out there on Survivor. And there was a bit of a dispute on how to cook the eggs. Natalie wanted to cook them all at once, but Lursa went to school and said, no, we can't do it this way. And everybody's really getting annoyed and impatient with Natalie at this point. On the Green Tribe, it was really nice to see Christian bonding with John and Dan. He's now officially part of the Brochachos, and they said that Christian is not just a genius, he's a notch above genius. And it was really nice to see Christian finding a place to belong. Like, I only hope Gabby can find a place to belong there. I mean, she has an alliance with Christian, but I hope she finds more Alliance members. So, and Dan actually said that he wants Gabby gone next. And I don't think Christian would allow that. But that also made me wonder if those three are together, and then obviously Allison's on the bottom of that alliance. So, Dan sees a potential because the Green Tribe is on a new island. It's newly formed. In tradition, there's usually an idol. So Dan goes to search for an idol, and it's easier for him because he knows what to look for. And finally, he finds not an idol, but a clue. And the clue to the idol shows that the idol is hidden in an immunity challenge. So can Dan pull it off and get the idol out of the challenge without anybody noticing? So the immunity challenge, they had to race up and down this obstacle, and they had to lift a ladder to climb up, and then they had to pull a rope to release a bridge and lock it, and then they had to get this ball through a snake maze. And I gotta give production credit on that puzzle. It seems easy at first, but it is complicated because you have to be you're kind of on a balance beam part of the time, so one false move and it's done. And it was so freaking close at the end. Like, it seemed like it was just going to come down to seconds. And we see that orange wins immunity first, and then green wins immunity, sending purple to tribal council. And Christian was in tears because Dan was originally using a slingshot. Then I believe John was, and then they decided to have Christian come in, and he was able to pull it off, and he won it for them. Oh no, wait, did Christian do it the whole time? I'm not sure. Comment down below who was the one that did the snake puzzle at the end, because I know Christian did it second, but who did it before Christian? That'd be much, much appreciated. And sure enough, Dan was able to pull it off, so he did find the hidden immunity idol in the challenge. Now Dan has 2 idols, so that'll be interesting. I'm sure at some point, because he's really tight with Kara, I'm sure at some point he'll have 1 idol for himself and 1 idol for Kara. So now Purple's dealing with going to tribal council, and they're debating on Lyrsa and Nick, and challenge-wise, they want to keep Nick. They don't think Lyrsa's contributing around camp, and they think that Nick would be better in challenges, so they think, oh, easy peasy, let's keep Nick. And then another situation came up there about a jacket. Angelina wanted Lyrsa's jacket because she was cold. I mean, it's freezing with that rain and everything. I mean, I'm sure everybody's shivering there. And then Natalie, at that point, took it to the next level and was trying to bully Nick into giving him his jacket, saying that, she basically said to him, is this worth $1 million to you? Like, saying, you know, if you don't, basically that she'll keep she's threatened to keep his jacket if he doesn't go their way. And Nick doesn't want that. And Nick understandably wants Natalie gone, and then Mike and him are in the Rockstar Alliance, and Mike wants Natalie gone as well, and he wants to make sure that Angelina's on board. And Angelina's, it's not that she doesn't want to get rid of Natalie, it's just the fact that if they do get rid of Natalie, they'll then be 7-7 with David, so then they can easily, David then could come out on top and actually have the majority going into the merge. So, at Tribal Council, it was talked about how it's critical at this point to remain Goliath strong, and how Natalie is not only struggling at Tribal Council, but is struggling to adapt around camp. And the egg situation and jacket situation came up, and Natalie implied that, that this is basically leverage to, it's basically uses leverage, and Natalie then tried to throw Angelina under the bus, saying that you want to add something to this. And Angelina did say that, she didn't want to take the jacket as leverage. She really wanted the jacket because she was cold. And Natalie then ended up getting sent home. And it was a tie. Well, there's 5 people, and came down to 1 vote between Natalie and Lursa, and it was Natalie. And then Angelina asks for Natalie's jacket at the end, and she doesn't give it to her because she doesn't know if Angelina contributed to her vote off. And I was curious at the end to see, and it turns out it was Mike that actually voted Natalie off. So, yeah, next week's episode shows that Mike is gunning for Angelina, and I'm nervous because I like Angelina, so I hope that Purple wins immunity. It's just one of the immunities, just for the sole purpose Angelina doesn't go home. And it looks like on Orange, Elizabeth and Davy are butting heads. And it also seems like Allison and Gabby are forming an alliance, that Allison wants to work with Gabby. And I think Gabby might potentially want to work with Allison because she feels alone. Besides with Christian, she feels alone in the game. So Allison could potentially be another alliance member for her. But the question is, and how that'd be very interesting if Green goes to tribal council, how that will work, because Christian basically would be the swing vote if Gabby and Allison vote the same and Dan and John vote the same. I'm very curious to see who Christian would vote for. It'd be very interesting to see if it was a tie, like if, just for conversation's sake, if Allison and Gabby vote for John and Dan and John vote for Allison, it would come down between, it would be a tie then, so Christian would have to be the tie. Well, I don't know where I was going with that, honestly don't know. I was thinking about like a potential tiebreaker situation, but it's an odd number, so that can happen. Sorry for the rambling at the end. I'm sorry about that. So, yeah, next week should be interesting. I'm sensing that a merge is coming soon. It doesn't appear like it's coming next week. I'm thinking maybe 2-3 weeks from now we'll have a merge coming on, so that'll be interesting to see who holds the majority. So, I hope you guys enjoyed Survivor. If you guys want to check out Survivor, it is on Wednesdays, 8 p.m. on CBS. Until next time, stay regal.